So I am Manuel Pulgar Vidal, currently working as climate and energy global practice leader with WWF International. Used to be Minister of the Environment of Peru in between 2011 and 2016, and as for that, President of the Climate COP20 conference just a year before of Paris. And before of that, the Executive Director of the Peruvian Society for Environmental Law, in which I used to be mostly focused in mining and the environment. So this is a topic that it is for me so important and that I have developed in my professional career for a long time. So having said that, let me focus in what the organizers requested me to address, the role of mining in a just transition. And let me start by making a clarification, because I think that in some way we could confuse terms. We know what does it mean just transition, that it is how to address the negative consequences that it could be created because of a desired change in some places. So development, jobs, salary, social benefits, among some others. So the point is, if we know that we are going to phase out definitively coal, how can we manage coal area? As it is happening in Asturias, in the north of Spain, as it is happening in the Silesia, in Poland, and in many places of the world in which they are working in the just transition. And a different thing, it is the energy transition. The energy transition, it is what the science has suggested through the IPCC 1.5 special report, that we have transit, that we have walk. They have suggested that we have walk for transition. The energy one, the industry, the infrastructure and buildings and cities one, and finally the land use change, deforestation, agriculture, so all what it is more related to the nature. So that is the energy transition. And probably in this speech of 10, 12 minutes, I will try to connect both. But the focus, it will be on the role of mining in the sectorial transformation, and what is the role that just transition could play, in my point of view, as an opportunity for the mining sector. So to start to give to you 7 approaches to that relation, let me start by saying that it is amazing how much we have progress in the climate debate. I am used to using the analogy of a solar system. If you imagine the formation of a solar system, of our solar system, the first thing that emerged, it was the main star, our sun. After that, a group of gravitational forces that allow the system to be well aligned in good orbits in between planets and satellites. It is exactly the same with the climate debate. So let me say that in my point of view, the climate debate has already gotten a good main star, that it is our collective vision. It is amazing, friends, how much nobody is doubting that we shouldn't raise temperature in more than 1.5. That is like Stone Britain. Nobody doubts. And even more, IPCC has told us that every half degree matters. So that is a key threshold that probably we could overshoot, I hope not, but even in that situation, we are planning to manage it well, to have no more than 1.5 by the end of the century. Based on that, nobody's doubting that to get there, we have to move our economies to be net zero in emission by 2050 and resilient. So economic resilience, human being resilience, infrastructure resilience. So resilient, it is the second main objective by 2050. And because of that, also we know that we have at least to reduce emissions in 50% by 2030. That is why many organizations are saying that this is the decisive decade, a decisive decade in which we must strengthen the transition that I've already mentioned, those 4 transitions, with an addition, fortunately, that now a new concept is coming into the debate, a new kid on the block, that it is the nature positive concept, something that we hope it could be consolidated in the coming Biodiversity Convention COP15 in Kunming, China. So that is the main star. And fortunately, that main star, it has been well complemented with strong gravity forces. One of those, it is that now the climate debate, it is an economy one. And that is key. The change, things are changing. strongly changing. And it is because the economy is defining new rules. Probably some of you can doubt that we have already entered into a new climate economy. Probably we are in the preliminary steps, but it is irreversible. The world will have a climate economy because many economic conditions have been taken based in climate consideration. So that economy force, it is changing things at a point that if you are from a small country in emissions, as in Peru, don't take that into consideration because now it not depends on how much emissions you have. Peru has 0.3% of emission. And we can say, okay, we don't have any responsibility. That is not true. If we are not able to consider that this is an economic debate, we will be soon behind the others. And that is not fair for our countries and for our citizens. So that is the first element. And the second, it is for the miners. Despite that for many countries in tropical areas in the global south, our main source of emission, it is because of deforestation, land use, agriculture, and many of those practices, that shouldn't divest you, that also you have a responsibility. Because it is not about what is the main source of emission. It is about how are you planning to continue exporting your products into regions that are demanding more climate consideration. That's the point. Let's see Europe and how many new climate considerations they are defining. Let me finish this baseline by saying, on the other hand, now we are working into what the Secretary General Guterres, the UN Secretary General, called the credibility gap. We do need to have credible climate claims. It is not just to put a title that I am carbon positive, carbon neutral, nature. Oh, no, it is, okay, how much you are supporting that claim strongly on science, and how much you are making people being able to access to that information and to know that you are developing progress, and how much you can really show your progress in a way in which it could be credible. And that is key. So be careful with any claim that it is not strongly supported by science. In that sense, it has been fantastic that the ICMM, the International Council on Metals and Minerals, in November or December, I participated in that released the net zero commitment. And I hope that more corporations, more mining companies can join that net zero commitment of the ICMM. So that is the baseline. Now let me, in 4 minutes, share with you 7 visions that you have to consider to define your own strategy and to really fit your mining activity into the just transition and the energy transformation. First approach, you have to work in mitigation and adaptation. And for sure, when we think about mitigation, it is about scope 1, that it is related to the sources that you own. Scope 3, that it is the indirect emissions because of the energy that you acquire. And scope 3, probably the most difficult, that it is related to your clients and customers. But you have to have a clear strategy. In scope 1, vehicle electrification, energy efficiency, there are many, many ways to address scope 1. Scope 3, access to renewable energy. I hope to see countries defining clear hydrogen policies as a way to provide more clean sources of energy. Chile is doing that. Peru, not yet. Not many countries in case of Latin America, but that is something already. And scope 3, probably it could take some more time, but also it is a key element. Second condition, or second approach, connect your activity with the new global economy. We know that in its extractive step, mining, it is not the main source of emission. For sure, if you compare that one with fossil fuels industry, you have a completely different situation. But despite of that, there are some new conditions that are emerging in the scenario. Carbon pricing, emissions trade system, the new decision that Europe is taking to make this carbon border adjustment. So the point it is that your competitiveness, it will be measured not because of the GDP or how much you are able to contribute with taxes. It is because of your volume of carbon. And that it will be measured. And how much you are doing an effort to reduce that volume of carbon. And if not, your product will be punished. Not you, your product will be punished, even your reputation in some cases. Also, Europe, it is discussing the green taxonomy. They have started to bring more closer the financial sector as a way to say, these are eligible activities because are sustainable. This one, not too much. So that is part of the new element of this new economy that it is emerging. And also we have this climate-related financial disclosure. We have many, many good examples on how much the economy, it is playing a new role. Third approach, connect your activity with the non-state actors' agenda. The race to zero, the race to resilience, the sectorial breakthroughs, the new Marrakesh Partnership 2.0, that it is about non-state actors. For me, it was amazing to saw that in COP26, we had half and a half, 50% of parties countries, 50% of non-state actors with the top CEOs. And that is good, because what it is happening, it is that now this process has become to be not only a country-driven or party-driven, it is a multi-actor process, and you have to be part of that. But for sure, there are some difficulties. There are some asteroids to continue with our solar system. The lack of credibility, the carbon markets, a lot of critics about the carbon market, how to avoid to buy carbon credits to carbon cowboys. Fortunately, there are many initiatives as a voluntary carbon market integrity initiative that are addressing that difficulty. So my recommendation to the mining sector is that if you are planning to go through carbon credits, check the integrity rules. That is key. And respect the safeguard and respect the rights among some others. Fourth element, also there are opportunities on mining. Because of the energy transition, the industry, it will be more intensive in some metals. So graphite, copper, lithium, indium, many of those metals will emerge as a great opportunity because the new technology that it is emerging. In that sense, it is important what the World Bank is recommending or suggesting through this concept of climate smart mining, that it is so important that has 4 elements: climate mitigation, climate adaptation, reducing material impact, and creating marketing opportunities. Following and define your strategy in that way. And look, if the mining sector will have that opportunity because of the intensivity of the use of those metals, probably could be a sector that can manage well the just transition, can bring workers that have left their position because of something that we have finally phasing out, to bring it into more sustainable activities, even into the mining sector. So look and think about of that. A fifth element, it is that also it is emerging this nature positive concept. And this new nature positive concept obliges us to think beyond the business as usual no-go areas. There will be more sensitivity in protecting forest coverage, in protecting ecosystem and its integrity. And that is something that you have to consider. Sixth element, it is about your internal organization, how to manage this. And there is a very good document prepared by the Business for Sustainable Responsibility, that it is a guide for the mining sector that are suggesting how to protect value and how to create value. I don't have time to go one by one to that, but there are many, many things in the good literature that are emerging to link this relation in between mining and climate. And finally, follow what it is happening domestically. What are the NDC in the country in which you are developing your activity? The NDC, remember, it is the climate plan. What is the long-term vision toward a 2050 net zero time in that country? What is the climate plan or the climate action plan? No? What are the opportunities to bring more closer the Ministry of Finance to the Ministry of the Environment? How can we really develop something that it is more related to the ecological transition? Because even the governance around the world is changing. Around the world, in Europe, France and Spain, they have created a Ministry for Ecological Transition. That means that now they are looking beyond the environment. They are looking to connect energy transition with the environment, with the economy. And that is a trend that it will continue happening. So those, in 15 minutes, sorry, Sarah, that I took 5 more minutes, it is 7 approaches to connect mining with the climate debate, with the new economy, and with the new social demands. So thank you very much for this time.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Manuel. I really, really appreciate your time coming and speaking with us. Round of applause from everybody. Absolutely fantastic.